Right, so I'm back doing my reports of what's going on in this timeline. Uh, Britain's Got Talent just seems to be an update, which is good to know we still have talent. I myself, being a Brit, I did create my time machine, so there's that. Free Lil Nas X, that's some sort of a war criminal or something. Right. Kill the Bill protest, yeah, still happening. Actually, that is still Kill the Bill, right? That's not just anger against a man called Bill. You know, like any sensible person, I am against the police bill, but you see stuff like this and you realise, oh, these are the people lecturing everyone online who are having thousands of pounds to be trained in the art of rhetoric at university, and yet it's still sort of just demeaning working people. It's not a great look, but hopefully that will change with the butterfly effect. Right, so Kill the Bill still going on, of course. Jimmy Savile. What? Why would he be trending? I think he's a deceased, beloved comedy legend, surely. BBC not only turned a blind eye to this nasty... Oh no. Oh no. Right, it's all kicking off. People love the drama. That's the thing I've noticed. In this timeline, Twitter seems to be more a place for drama, but, you know, you can kind of have high-class drama. You know, in high school, you can be interested in gossip. Or, you know, if you're a fan of the Kardashians or whatever, that's kind of like lowbrow. Oh, how petty. Great minds talk about greater things. But now with Twitter, you can basically have anything under the guise of, you know, oh, it's this important political discussion or it's talking about things that matter or culture, but actually it's just bloody gossip. People love it. All this thing about, oh, an activist lefty online, it turns out they just like calling out politicians for scandals and attacking people. It's an interesting angle Twitter's taken on this timeline. Attack on Titan final season. I saw this hashtag before. It does seem like in this future or present, I suppose, seasons are actually limited. Back in the old timeline, you'd have 4 a year and they'd just repeat. But it does seem like they have limited seasons here. We might be heading for an apocalypse, or apocalypse, given the Kill the Bill protests. But that seems to be where we're heading anyway, so it's possible it will be the final season. Trending. I don't know what that's relevant to. Boris the liar. Yeah. Boris Johnson still Prime Minister. So obviously we're not back on the utopian timeline. And that's something we have to change. This is still a thing. Anything else I'm missing? Oh. Yeah, there's been a lot of discussion. Andrew Neil, clown-like figure, mischaracterises someone as a Labour MP when they're not. So, you know, like many people, I'm looking forward to the ritual humiliation of his arguments in thinking that'll be some good entertainment. Unfortunately, most of the scandal seems to come from pompous left-wing academics that are annoyed that their shtick's being stolen, who have spent, you know, all their time on Twitterdemia being demeaning to those lacking a qualification or certain standard that they reach, and being able to dismiss their arguments because they don't meet some arbitrary academic circle jerk bubble that you buy your way into. And now Andrew Neil's insulting Strathclyde as not meeting his standards, and suddenly they're very annoyed that, you know, a lot of left-wing academics in this timeline tend to spend most of their time on Twitter, engaging in petty, childish attacks, and it's very high school. But obviously, if some sort of conservative figure starts doing it, then you're going to find that they're very angry that now that's going to be exposed and called bad. They kind of need it to be approved of in their little cabal circle jerk. So if some conservative starts doing it, that's very upsetting for them. Don't get me wrong, from the research I've done, they're not actually left-wing. It's just kind of a fashion statement. I'm sure they're right-wing in the voting booth, but you know, they're left-wing socially, shall we say. But they clearly don't espouse any of the values, because most of them are academic supremacists and aggressively middle class. James O'Brien. Now, I want to pay attention to this gentleman, because I've noticed when I've gone through different timelines that I've changed with the butterfly effect of travelling back and changing something. When I come back to the present 2021, James O'Brien is perhaps the least changing man, and it might be a kind of clue to how, you know, to how timelines change in the butterfly effect, that you have certain constants that will remain sort of a stuck-up knobhead no matter how the universe shapes around them. So I want to, you know, note that down to make a note of any constants that might anchor particular archetypes that may need to be in place for the universe to continue. So I want to pay attention to that. Right, yeah, so everyone's annoyed about that because he's stepping on their snobbish territory, and that's their angle, to dismiss people that don't meet their academic standard and try and humiliate them. I mean, the other thing is, you can tell a lot of these left-wing socially people on Twitter aren't left-wing, because they are very possessive of property of certain arguments. If someone else then acts like that, they'll be against it, despite the amount of hashtag socialism. Right, well, seems like nothing's improved, and we'll have to go back and change things again. But as always, if you want to follow the results of my experiments, going back in time, changing something, seeing how the timeline is affected, then Morlock Soup is my Twitter username. Don't read into it, it's just nonsensical words put together.